If you want to grow your business online, the number one thing I would tell you is to stop blasting the content confetti cannon. Now, when I say that, I'm referring to the fact that most of the stuff that people put out on the web, most of it nobody picks up, nobody looks at, nobody reads, nobody watches, which ultimately means nobody buys from it. And here's the thing that you need to know. If you go on the web at any point in time, you're going to hear people telling you that email is now dead. This social media platform is now dead. Webinars are dead. Long-form videos are dead. Short-form videos are dead. It's kind of become a game as to what died this week and what are you going to read the next marketing eulogy about today. And here's the thing that you need to know. All of these things work. Every platform is effective. However, the majority of people who do them, it doesn't work because you're putting the emphasis on the wrong thing. I can honestly remember a time that I almost got into this argument with people that I was teaching something one time in one of my workshops. I was teaching like this whole campaign that I had put together where I was walking people through something that I had done in organic marketing. Then we took the organic marketing, and since we found that it actually was effective, we then were paying for that video to then go to a very specific audience. Not entirely the point of the story. It happened to be Facebook ads. You can take the components of my story though and apply them to just about everything else. And I wish I was clever enough to make this part up. I'm at this convention. I'm in the bathroom and I feel a tap on my shoulder, which is the one thing you don't want happening when you're a man using the urinal. Someone's tapping on my shoulder and he's trying to explain to me that there's no reason why I should be teaching my workshop. He's trying to defend the fact that he tried the mechanism that I was teaching and it didn't work for him. Therefore, why are you wasting your time teaching people this thing that doesn't work? After I washed my hands, I gave him a very polite invite to say, well, I'm doing the workshop Sunday at this specific time. I'm going to be peeling back the curtain and I'm going to be showing you the exact step-by-steps of what I've done in my marketing and explaining exactly how it worked, why it worked, and then even better, how we could then scale that messaging up. I gave him the invite. I made it extremely easy for him to join us. And I will tell you that I really wasn't that surprised when I looked out in the crowd and he wasn't there. It kind of makes you think sometimes, is someone yelling this controversial thing about marketing to prove a point to you, or are they doing it just to kind of ratify their own belief system? Which again, is not entirely the message that I'm sharing with you here, yet it's worth pointing out. I did something in organic marketing. I put it out there without having to pay for it. And then only once that we saw it was actually working, that's where we then boosted the post into an ad. And suddenly now did everything we could to put that video in front of the right audience. And metaphorically speaking, it was now printing money. So again, emails, social media, webinars, direct video sales letters, everything, even direct mail, all this stuff works. Yet for the majority of people who do it, it doesn't work for a few very simple reasons. One of the mistakes you might be making, in addition to blasting the content confetti cannon, is that you don't look any different than anyone else in your market. Think about it. For some of you, you are operating your businesses because you saw someone else doing it this one way, and because they're doing it that way, and you're guessing that they might actually be successful at that, you are then copying what they're doing, and here's why that's a problem. When you position yourself as a commodity, you now have completely taken out the guesswork in terms of who is the best choice. If everybody in the same marketing space now all looks the same, your only option then is to run a business that basically becomes a race to the bottom. Who's the cheapest? Which one is going to be the most affordable? And you don't want your clients making that decision based upon price alone. One of the biggest things that I tend to help out with is the fact that many of you are using what I call expert speak. And that shows up in a number of different ways. If you're talking about the number of sessions that you're going to be meeting with your clients, if you're more so focused on how many videos are in a library, all of these things are important, yet this becomes a challenge because your dream audience, your ideal clients, they don't yet know that's actually important to them. You are speaking from a place of what's important to you, and I'm sorry to tell you this, you are confusing the hell out of your clients. They don't yet know what criteria is important. Or perhaps you're speaking in specific modalities or different approaches, different technical aspects, which may eventually become extremely important to your target audience. Yet until this criteria is introduced, again, you're just confusing them. Which is why it's so important that you climb out of the trap that I call the commodity trap. I'm here to help you climb out of the commodity trap. Stop running a business that looks like everybody else's. Where on the surface, it's almost as if you're all inside of some big franchise or some big conglomerate. And what you really need to realize is in the 21st century, people do business with people. We've all heard this before, that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And it's not until you go through that sequence of know, like, and trust will that audience actually buy. And along the way, you've got to give them some unique proposition, some unique big promise, something unique about who you are, what you do, and why that's important inside the interaction with your ideal clients. If you're not yet doing that, you're a commodity. Your business has become a race to the bottom. And I've got to say, if you start to look at why most people online, unfortunately, are not just invisible, you're completely being ignored by your dream audience. It's because, by no fault of your own, okay, it is your fault, what you end up producing just reeks of sales. It just smells like a sales pitch is coming. Now, this may be extremely overt, where like here's someone yelling, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, and I hate that too. Though at the same time, if everything is trying to navigate towards a specific sale that your audience might not yet be qualified to make the decision based upon, again, you're confusing your audience, you're going to be ignored. So ask yourself this question. In all of your marketing, in all of your promotion, and everything you put out to the world, what would happen differently if you could communicate with people in such a way that encourages them now to lean in and hear your message as education? And as they hear that message as education, they activate something that I call a subconscious sales system. This is that beautiful moment where you have your audience now mentally rehearsing the sales process for you. So instead, communicate in a way where people hear it as education, and yet subconsciously in their internal processing, they are now running the sales conversation for you. This does something absolutely beautiful. It has your ideal clients mentally rehearsing the sales process, already rehearsing saying yes to you even before you ask for the sale. So let's crush the content confetti cannon. Let's stop playing the game of what marketing strategy died this week, and instead focus all of your efforts on educating and elevating people's internal story so that you are targeting a very specific belief shift in the minds of your ideal audience. If you can be the person to activate that belief shift inside of their brain, a couple of things occur. First of all, they now connect this discovery, they now connect this epiphany specifically to you. Second of all, without having to badmouth your competition, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, what you actually now do is create this line in the sand where now everybody else is trying to sell them something else. And you are the one who is now educating them towards a very specific solution that they now know that they need. And that's perhaps the most important word of all of this. They have now sold themselves on the fact that they need what you do. If you are not yet targeting your communication to activate a belief shift and activate this subconscious sales system, you are blasting the content confetti cannon, the stuff that ultimately nobody watches, nobody picks up, nobody reads, no one watches, and ultimately nobody buys from. The number one thing you want to focus on in your marketing is every piece of promotion, every piece of content is activating a belief shifting persuasion trigger in the mind of your audience. And the cool thing about this is the ethics are embedded. They will only progress if what you're saying is in alignment with them. They will only move forward in the sales conversation as they've already been mentally rehearsing saying yes to you, and they've already decided you are the person that they need to work with. If this is something you want some help doing, that's exactly what we do. I'm Jason Linett. You can check out our website and our podcast over at attractpresoldclients.com. And if you're curious, we offer for free a client attraction audit. This is where we meet with you one-to-one, absolutely free, to diagnose exactly why your current marketing message isn't yet working or isn't yet scaling. And we're going to offer specific suggestions on exactly what needs to happen right now to bring your dream clients into your business. Get all the details over at attractpresoldclients.com.